is called The Edge Chronicles by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle. Written by Paul Stewart and illustrated by Chris Riddle, because basically it's this world called the that takes place on this crag of land called the Edge. It just juts out into the clouds. Basically, how it started, Chris Riddle gave his friend Paul, a map of a world and said, "Make a story out of this." And honestly, that's probably one of the best ways to create a fantasy stories. I found to create a world, just make a map of of a fantasy land or anything, and from there you can pretty much make the story and the characters and whatever you want. I would recommend that for anyone wanting to write a fantasy story. Anyways, the Edge Chronicles is it's pretty cool because it has awesome illustrations. Some of them kind of gross, some of them kind of almost like Lovecraft, like Cthulhu. But it's filled with all sorts of illustrations, and the series spans three trilogies, one major book that ties everything together, and a epilogue trilogy. The thing is, the three trilogies take place over three different eras of the world of the Edge, and follow three different protagonists. They all seem separate, but the three protagonists are related. The first trilogy is called the Quint trilogy. The second is the Twig trilogy, and the Rook trilogy. Now, these three guys, they do their things in their own time, and each trilogy is based in a different age of the world, called the Flight Ages or whatever, because the world has a lot to do with flight. My God, the science, the magic behind everything that powers the flight in their world. Flying ships, flying run on flight rocks, storm frac ships that are powered by these crystals called storm fracs from lightning in the sky. I don't know. Floating city called Sanctifrax. Anyways, it all culminates together. All the stories culminate together in a big book called The Immortals, which just wraps everything up. And yeah, and all three of the main characters come together with a distant ancestor to defeat the evil that's actually affecting the world. Evil creature called the Gloomglozer. And then the final trilogy, the epilogue, further delves into like why the world the way it is why the Edge is the way it is, how all these creatures that live in the Edge. Plus, I have to mention it's the diversity of life in this world is like amazing. There's like 20 different species of goblins. It's crazy to keep track of it all. But anyways, it all culminates into why the world the way it is, how it was created, and what lies beyond the Edge. Which just it's just so cool to find out to read. I read it like twice in a row, all the books, and they are big books, and a big feat to finish. Yeah, but that's my recommendation and what inspired me to write my story, along with some other books that I highly enjoy, and movies and games, which inspired my own world. So that is my final segment. I don't know if I have time to talk about anything else, but for the next part, I'll just leave you with a song. Here's Twisted Sister with Not Gonna Take It, here on 1320 KKSM, the Mixtape Hour. Oh, little intro there. This isn't the officials.